What's good, everybody, and welcome into yet another edition of your new favorite sports and wrestling show. We call it the Coach and Bro Show. I am the coach. He, of course, from russosbrand.com is Vince Russo. Vince, it's Thursday, big boy. Week 5 in the NFL starts again. How are you?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. I got to be honest, man. My focus has been a little bit on baseball. You know, I'm a baseball guy. Man, a couple of upsets, man. Couple of juggernauts getting knocked out early in the Orioles and the Astros, man. The Royals and the Tigers are advancing. A lot going on in Major League Baseball right now.
I'm very happy. I'm a Kansas City guy. You know, Vince, back in the day, the Bank of America used to make debit cards with teams on them. And when I was living in Connecticut, working in the WWE, I went in and I got the only, according to the lady at the bank, the only Kansas City Royals debit card they had ever issued. That's how diehard I am. When I was growing up as a kid, you know, my parents, my dad's a minister, my mom's a school teacher, no money, 4 kids. Our big summer vacation was go to a Royals game, general admission $3, and go to Worlds of Fun 2 miles down the road. It was the big amusement park. Yeah. I love the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah.
Love them.
Great teams back then too. What a tradition, man. What a tradition. Yeah.
You know, in 1985, in fact, tomorrow or Saturday morning, speaking of the Royals, you know, remember Brett Saberhagen?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right? Cy Young winner.
Oh, yeah.
One of my heroes. So he has a big foundation, a big charity here in the States, and it's called Saves Wings. And his wife has had cancer multiple times, not once, multiple times. So they started a foundation because so many people get caught up in the treatment and they forget about the families. Yeah. And it's very expensive. Yeah. Airbnbs, rental cars, food, all those. So that's what their foundation does. And they're about 4 hours away, wine country. And a couple of years ago, he asked me to start hosting it. And so I have the honor this weekend. It's big event in wine country. You seem like a wine guy to me. You feel like, finger up in the air, drinking wine. Is that?
Yeah, I instead of wine, I do Yoo-hoo. I put the Yoo-hoo in and I put the finger out and I drink my Yoo-hoo. But Coach, you're out there hobnobbing with the Saberhagens of the world, and you're leaving me behind. When do I get to hobnob with the coach and these people?
I'm telling you right now, I'm going to work on it for next year because at this event, he has so many former baseball greats that come in for this event. You would eat it up. You would eat it up.
Yeah, and then we also got the big news, bro, speaking of which, and I'm not going to be on baseball long, but man, Buster Posey taking over the helm at the San Francisco. 37 years old, bro, 37.
I saw so many stories here in the States about that, and I saw the owner, the president. For people who don't know, Buster Posey, Giants great, Russo, huge Giants fan, and I think he's a 3 or 4 time World Series champion. 3?
Every accolade you could imagine, bro. 3-time world champion, but MVP, Rookie of the Year, every award you could imagine.
Everything. He's getting credit. They just did a big deal. I think Matt Chapman is his name.
Matt Chapman, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Big deal. Yeah. And so I saw the owner, I've never seen this before, giving Buster Posey the credit for getting the deal done because the agents wouldn't even talk to the owners. Posey walked in and said, let's start talking, get it done. They got it done like that.
And, bro, that's going to be huge because the problem the Giants are having is, bro, a lot of people didn't want to play in San Francisco for 2 reasons. Number one, the city's going to pot, number one. Mm-hmm. And number 2, it's not a hitter's park. I mean, if you're an offensive player, bro, it's not a hitter's park, so it's a tough sell. But that's where I think he's really going to excel. I think he's going to get a lot of people to come to San Francisco.
When you have a baseball stadium where it's been around for over 20 years, because I went to games back in my WWE days, and this year, the first time ever that a right-handed hitter hit it into McCovey's Cove, that's bananas.
That's unbelievable. Bananas. Unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So congratulations to Buster Posey. We'll be hitting on some baseball next year right here on the Coach and Bro Show. And right now, playoffs, Tigers, congratulations. Astros, first time since 2016.
Yeah.
But sometimes teams get old, right? We don't even think about it because our athletes, we want them to stay like this, don't we?
Yeah.
And they don't. Yeah. They get older, right?
Oh, look what P Rose, man. Coach, how do you feel about this, bro? And we won't be on baseball for long. Bro, if they put Rose in the Hall of Fame after his passing, Shame on them, bro. Shame. The guy dedicated his entire life to getting in that Hall of Fame. If they put him in now, bro, I'm going to be sick to my stomach.
I've always stood like this, that he had his punishment for the gambling and the betting, which now is normal place in the United States. So, you know, if it was now, it wouldn't be a big deal. And the fact that he'd be suspended for a year or something like that. But to me, all the voters need to retire and go away. You bring in new ones. Now they realize you got to separate as an athlete. He was perhaps the greatest hitter of all time.
Right.
And if he's not in the Hall of Fame right next to Ted Williams, then it's not truly a Hall of Fame.
That's
over 4,000 hits.
Yeah,
so
ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
It's always these 80-year-old guys. They've been holding on to these votes, not just baseball, but NFL too. Yeah. And they think they like own the sport and they're coveted in the sport. And it's the same thing in wrestling too. I mean, we deal with these fans all the time. Oh, it's ours. It's our thing.
Yeah.
Pete Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for what he did on the field. Period.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Well, the NFL is what we do here. It's going to be depending on season. Because I'm telling you right now, the Coach and Bro Show, we're going to be around for a long, long time. And all of you AEW haters out there, we'll get to you in about 30 minutes on Backstage Pass. Are you kidding me? Oh, I've got a lot to say about them. But, Vince, I love how we attack the NFL. Because we're not one of those hardcore shows. We go in and break down all the bells and whistles. And this guy has four. You know, we look at the fun part. We look at the fan part. And Thursday Night Football. And this show always drops around 7 p.m. Eastern on Thursday and Monday nights. Tonight's a big one. And you got two quarterbacks who have great personalities. They got big-time contracts.
Yep.
And you normally don't see this at a third or a fourth stop like Baker Mayfield and like Kirk Cousins.
Right.
And from for Kirk, he starts to look every week like he's getting more and more and more fresh. But here's the diehard question. How do you think the fans are going to react tonight, Vince Russo, with Chick-fil-A being open inside the stadium?
Oh, well, the people could be in a frenzy tonight, bro. That they could be in an absolute frenzy, bro. Bro, what about the money Chick-fil-A leaves on the table every Sunday, bro?
I just said that.
Oh, that's right. It's Sunday. I thought it was new. I thought they were opening a new restaurant. Oh,
no.
It's Sunday.
Because this is Thursday. So they built a bunch of them in the stadium that aren't open on Sundays.
My God.
They're just closed.
What? What is the point of that?
They're a staple in Atlanta. They're from Atlanta.
I know, but why would you go in a football stadium when you're not open on Sundays? I did not know that, Coach.
Concerts. You got there's a lot of things that go on in that arena that aren't on Sunday.
Oh my gosh, man. I didn't realize that.
You got to have some kind of conviction as a family, and
they do, bro. You do, absolutely.
One day a month,
absolutely.
They're leaving billions on the table, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
Now the other big story coming out of this game tonight, and we'll get to our picks in about 20 minutes or so, maybe about 15 minutes, is there's been a lot of rumblings about what happened last Sunday when Tom Brady, the GOAT, the 7-time Super Bowl champion, he was calling the Bucs-Eagles game. And Baker Mayfield had gone on a podcast, and Vince, he said it was taken completely out of context. Not necessarily true, but Tom Brady showed the Tom Brady that I think Fox wanted to see when they paid him $300 million. He took it personal. He said, stressful? I thought stress was not winning a Super Bowl championship. That was as close to a Michael Jordan performance by Tom Brady as I've ever seen. Do you agree?
Oh, I agree 1,000%, man. And we made this correlation of Vince McMahon, how great it is now. And, Triple H is, please, bro. They couldn't take the iron fist of Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon was a winner, the bravado. Can you imagine, bro? Seriously, we can't imagine, Coach, because we weren't there. Can you imagine the bravado of a Tom Brady every Sunday in that locker room? If you are a player, if you are a competitor, how do you not revel in that, bro? How do you not embrace that, bro? Where you got your quarterback, bro. You got the head of your team. You got the hood on him and saying, bro, Be here to win or go home, bro. Period. End of story. That's a real competitor.
You know what I've never understood about the perception of Tom Brady is when you're in the NFL, to be that great, to win that many Super Bowls, to win that many games, you have got to be all freaking in. And I love the comparison to Vince, because people used to say to me, Coach, I know you guys love to say Vince is at every show, but he doesn't really go to the Quad Cities. He doesn't really go to Des Moines, Iowa. Oh, yes. Yeah. Every show, he's sitting right there. And I would equate the same to Tom Brady. People are like, oh, he's dating a supermodel. He's got to be jet setting. He's doing that now. He just went to watch Wrexham play in Europe last Monday.
Yeah.
Because he can do it now. But when he was playing football, Vince, he was all in. That is his first love. I don't know why that's so hard for people to understand.
And that's why he was such a winner.
Yes.
It wasn't, it wasn't smoke and mirrors. That's why the guy was such a winner. That was the dedication and the commitment that he had, and that's what you need.
Hey, Vince, you want to know what I'm trying to do? We're all about branding here on the show. Am I right?
Absolutely.
So I wanted to start with, we're doing sports betting. Well, you see my little DTL. Well, this is what we think about DTL here at the Coach and Bro Show. This is right in the middle of the show. I wanted to get people kind of behind the scenes.
Wow, look at that, man. Look at that.
There we go. And look at that. Just like that, Coach and Bro Show. The reason we do that, Vince, is because you and I take everybody behind the scenes. And I want people to understand the difference between us and them. And you're seeing it right there, right
there it is
now.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Now let's go from one Hall of Fame quarterback to another. And there's been a lot of drama this week. With the New York Jets. And your boy, Aaron Rodgers. And they scored 9 points. Think about it. 2 weeks in a row, the Broncos win road games by scoring basically 10 points.
Yeah.
But afterwards, Aaron Rodgers doing what Aaron Rodgers does. Blaming everybody else but himself. God forbid Aaron Rodgers say, yep, that's on me. 5 false start penalties. And now this week, they go to one of the very few remaining undefeated teams in the NFL, and that's the Minnesota Vikings. I think he's about to get stomped at a place he's played at many, many times.
Yeah, well, they're playing. Is that game in London this week?
Yeah,
that game's in London this week. Because that's what I was gonna say, Coach. I'm gonna first of all, you know, I come from a fan perspective.
Always.
The way the Vikings are playing, like there's no reason to bet against them. There's just no reason to. But then, you know, I'm here in Denver. So I watched the game last week, and I watched how miserable the Jets looked. So there's always that part of me that, bro, Rodgers, he's got to come back. Is he going to have 2 games, 2 bad games in a row? But when we get to our actual bets, you're going to see I took the easy way out and why I took the easy way out.
By the way, if you look at the standings, and it's usually about this time of the year when all the undefeated teams are gone. There's one in the NFC, the Vikings. There's one in the AFC. Remarkably, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. But Vince, what's it like in your local market, whether you're watching on normal cable, like I still have cable, or YouTube TV or whatever, and the local game is always somebody and the Broncos right now?
Coach, you know what drives me crazy? Can I go off on a tangent here, Coach?
I would love it.
This is what drives me crazy, Coach. And I know you will relate to this. Coach, when I grew up in Long Island, okay, and you know, Coach, I don't need to tell you about WFAM, Mike and the Mad Dog. I don't need to tell you. Coach, here's what I loved about New York sports. Here's what I love. When it was football season, it was the Jets and the Giants. When it was basketball, hockey, you know, Rangers, Knicks, Islanders, Nets. And then when it was baseball, Mets and Yankees. We moved from season to season to season. Bro, Broncos, 12 months out of the year, bro. Bro, for as good as the Avalanche are, as good as the Nuggets are, they don't even talk about them, bro. Forget the Rockies. You would think the Rockies played in a different state. The Rockies haven't been mentioned since Todd Helton. But as good as the Avalanche and the Nuggets, bro, Denver Bronco talk 12 months out of the year, bro. May, June, July. It drives me freaking crazy. And that's why I root against the Broncos, bro, because they're obnoxious. That's obnoxious to me, Coach. It's not your turn when it's baseball season. I hate it. Drive me nuts.
You want to talk about obnoxious? Vince, when I was 22 years old, local TV, just starting out. This is how obnoxious Denver sportscasters are, Vince. So I started in Wichita, Kansas. And in Wichita and Kansas City, they cover the same sports, right? KU, K-State, Chiefs, whatever. And so I had been doing live shots for Kansas City. They have a guy leave. So they called my news director, and they said, hey, listen, we love Coach, super young, but can we bring him here? He could still do live shots for you. Well, at that same time, I had an agent. He calls me and said, hey, Coach, I know you want to go to Kansas City, but there's a station in Denver that is interested in you. So I'd already agreed to go to Kansas City. I said, you know what? I'll go to Denver just for the experience. So the night before I'm to go to Denver, a buddy of mine has let's call it a bachelor party. Okay. And you know the establishments that you might frequent at said bachelor parties, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm up literally all night because it's a one-day thing. It's 6 a.m., go out, do your thing, flight back home. So I'm up all night, and you know when you're up and then you're sitting there talking to somebody and you look through them and you might twitch a little bit because you haven't slept yet. You know all those twitches. Yeah. So I get in and I'm in the car service and I'm like, why did I do this? I feel like complete donkey. But I need the experience, right?
Right.
So I get there, and the number 2 guy, I don't even remember his name. I don't want to call him out here on the show. Number 2 guy. Basically, he can tell I've been up all night, hadn't really shaven. My tie was kind of off to the side. I was a mess. And he looked at me and goes, this is kind of disrespectful. This is a big market. You should want to be here. And clearly you did not come prepared. And they're not going to hire you. So I walk into the news director's office, and she was much nicer, but basically let me down easy. I go to Kansas City. I'm there in April of 1999. We all know what happened in 2000. Or excuse me, May of 1999, Owen Hart. I'm in the building, right? Then fast forward 3 months, I get hired by WWE. So it's public knowledge that my spot in Kansas City at a big station is open. Guess who I get a call from?
No. Karma, bro. I'm telling you, karma.
Yes. And I could not have been more arrogant, more cocky. And I knew I had like a 5-month runway because I wasn't allowed to leave Kansas City until the season was over because I was like the Chiefs reporter. I had to go to all the games. They didn't have time to replace me. So what do you think I told him on the phone? Remember what I just told you he told me in Denver?
Not very professional. Yeah.
That's exactly what I told him.
Yeah.
So it's not very professional for you to call me. I don't think they would hire you. Plus, Kansas City was 20 markets smaller than Denver was.
Bro, I love karma. Coach, can I tell you a quick karma story, Coach?
Hell yes, that's what we're all about.
Coach, I'm all about fantasy baseball.
Let's go.
Coach, I got a very short leash. If you crap the bed, you're getting put on the waiver wire. So, Coach, it was early in the season. Coach, I had so many leagues, and people kept wanting to be in leagues. And I finally said, for the last league, I said, there's going to be 5 teams, winner take all. No first, second, third, winner take all. That was the last league. Winner take all.
Okay.
So, Coach, we're about, we're maybe 40 games into the season. I had enough of Dylan Cease with the Padres. Good outing, bad outing. Good outing. Cut him, bro. Cut him. I can't deal with you, bro. So, bro, somebody picked him up. Bro, the next game, He threw the no-hitter. This guy, Ian, bro, I'm throwing him out there, goes all over social media. Hey, Vince, thanks for Dylan Cease. Hey, Vince, thanks for Dylan Cease. Coach, I took that. I put it back here. Thanks for Dylan Cease. Coach, I let this guy sit in first place the entire year. Coach, the last game of the season, bro. Vinny Rue put on his managerial hat, started moving those players around. The last game of the season, overtook the guy. Winner take all, bro. I wrote it back. I said, bro, you never mess with karma. You should have never opened your mouth about Cease because I never forgot it, Coach.
I love stories like that.
Yeah.
I love stories like that.
Yes.
There's nothing more annoying than a trash talker halfway through a season.
Absolutely.
It's the
Absolutely.
worst.
Yes.
It's the worst.
Yes.
And normally those people, they come back to bite themselves.
Yes.
Which is always freaking awesome.
Yeah.
All right. This is what you get at the Coach and Bro Show. You think we're going to hardcore breakdown games? Hell no. We're going to have a good time talking about said games. But we also have to make some picks. So, Vince, I know you've got a few that you would love to give out, and then I will react to them. What do you like this week, sir?
Well, we got the Buccaneers and the Falcons tonight. I always like to give the people a bet, and this is the way I like to bet too, Coach. Coach, I hate the nickel and diamond. I'm gonna bet $10 and I'm gonna win back 17. What, Coach? What am I gonna do with $7? I can't even get a Starbucks for $7.
You can't
so
do it.
I like the plus bets. The plus
money.
Yeah. That's why tonight, Bucks and the money line. The money line, which is plus 105. Bro, Mayfield is having a great year. Bro, I was looking at some of his statistics. Eight touchdown passes, second in the NFL. Cousins has been, kind of menza. I'm also looking at the spreads this year. So far, Bucks are 3-1, Falcons 1-3. I like the Bucks to win straight up here tonight, Coach.
See, I love that play as well. But I do have to correct you. The Falcons are not 1-3. They are 2-2.
No, I'm talking about against the spread.
Oh, my bad.
Against the spread.
You're right.
Against the spread, 1-3.
100%. Last week, if people really listened and watched to all of our shows, Falcons, I took them on the money line. I didn't like the small spread. They won on the last-second field goal by 1. You're absolutely 100% correct. My apologies. I love this play too. Whenever it's less than 2,
that's how I feel, Coach.
Yeah. Rare is the time. Rare is the time that you're going to see somebody win by 1. Now, the Falcons just did it, but anything less than 2, I'll take my chances, play the money line, and get that plus money instead of minus 110. Yeah. Everybody always says, well, Coach, what's the big difference? You're talking 15 cents, 20 cents. If you bet a lot of games, that juice adds up over time.
Right.
If you really want to be a responsible bettor. I love this. I think Tampa Bay is just a better team.
Yeah.
You take the Broncos game as an outlier. Baker Mayfield had over 300 yards passing last week. I think he's going to throw at least 2 passing touchdowns tonight. So I like his passing number. I like his 2+ touchdowns. You can find both of those numbers at DraftKings. And then I also love them on the money line, just like you. Yeah. Now I know you have another play that you like this week.
Yeah, I'm mamby-pamby in this one.
By the way, I stole that for another show.
Good. It's great. You can have it.
I gave you credit. I gave you credit. No.
I'm mamby-pamby in this one, Coach. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
The Vikings and the Jets.
Okay.
Like I said, you can't bet against. There's no reason to bet against the Vikings. They've given you no reason to bet against them.
100%.
Rodgers, I watched the game last week. I can't see him dropping a deuce 2 games in a row. However, we're in London, Coach. I think that, Coach, I got to tell you something. Coach, do you know, you're going to think I'm special for this.
Give it to me.
All my years in the WWE, Bro, I always got out of leaving the country. I never
You never
left
had to go?
outside of Canada. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go because I hated traveling. I
Oh,
never
it was
left the
terrible.
country. I hated it. Coach, when I left the WWE, I went to I've been to the UK twice. And I'll tell Coach, you want to know why I went there?
Why?
You'll appreciate this, Coach.
Okay.
Number one on my bucket list, Coach. What's number one on your bucket list? Did you accomplish it?
Play
Did you
Augusta
accomplish it?
National. I have not yet. I want to play Augusta National is my number one thing.
Wow, that's your number one thing.
Yes.
Now, how do you make that happen? How does one play Augusta National?
You either play with a guy who's won the Masters, is in it, practice squad, or you're like Steph Curry took his dad. And you've got to have a relationship with a guy who's a green jacket and a member. And they only have like 200 members. It's like very small. It's like the hardest thing in the world of golf to do.
Wow.
Is to play there. The hardest.
So is that a possibility?
I would say it's probably 2080, 1090.
That's a chance. That's a chance.
It's a chance. There's a chance. Yes.
Well, Coach, the reason I had to go to England, number one on my bucket list, Coach, I had to walk across Abbey Road, bro.
Wow.
I had to walk across Abbey Road. I'm sorry. I had to do it, bro. That was number one on my list. But my point is, the 2 times that I've been to the UK, absolutely loved it. Hated getting there. Coach, I can't sit still for 8 hours in a seat. And I think that travel may have an effect on the game. I'm going under 40, which I think is minus 108. I'm going under 40 between these two teams tonight.
I played the under last week, Broncos and Jets. It was the easiest win all week. It was under 39.5. They scored 19 points. The Jets are playing. I love the play, first of all. The Jets are playing in a way that they're trying to protect Aaron Rodgers. They want the game to go as fast as possible so they can get some wins and he doesn't get hurt. They're playing scared. You can't play football that way.
No. But
also running backs. They're running the ball a lot across the league. I love this play. But to your point about Europe, I hated going to Europe. People don't know. There's no highways in Europe. If you're going to go across Europe, it is 2 lanes. You come up to a roundabout, stop, go the roundabout, keep going for another 10 miles, stop, roundabout. And remember the flight from hell? The WWE flight from hell?
Yeah. You were on that, Coach?
I was on it. Not only was I on it, I was in
Coach.
the middle of it.
Oh.
Part of the reason, and we'll do a whole episode. In fact, it might be a small pay-per-view. That's how good the story is. But I'm telling you right now, part of the reason all of that happened is because we took a flight together on what they called Sport Jet. And it was a big plane that the Diamondbacks, the Seattle Mariners, and another team shared back in the day. And it was like 60 first-class seats, about 4 card tables, and then maybe 10 rows in the back of coach seats for the newspaper guys and things like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So they take us over there, and I kid you not, Vince, we went over with like 63 people. And this was the whole thing. Everybody thought Vince was on the plane. Vince never went for a 10-day tour. Are you kidding me? We were there for like 10 days, several days anyway. And so Vince went over on his own plane. So coming back, Vince, I kid you not, the bus ride from the arena in London to the airport was an hour and a half, and it was like 12 miles because there's no highways. So imagine all the guys at the time. You remember who was there then. An hour and a half of drinking and whatever else. Then we get to the plane. Vince, I kid you not. The pilot says, oh, you told me there was still going to be 63. There was now like 75 people on the plane. So they walk back through the aisle, taking down exact weights. They tell the women, because women never like to be asked their weight, they said, don't lie about your weight. And they're doing the math to see if we were too heavy to take off over the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, my God, bro.
And I said, let me off the plane. I'll get a commercial flight back. There's no way I'm taking that risk.
Yeah,
and the
man.
pilot said, hey, we're good. My point is that that's what Europe is. You can't go anywhere quickly. Everything is old. And all those teams this week, if they don't take a charger, an adapter, they're going to be, that's the worst part about going to Europe. Nothing works.
Yeah, you're
Nothing
right.
Works.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even, you would blow up your shaver for your beard over there.
Yeah, I like the kebabs though.
You like the meat?
Yeah, the kebabs are good. They make a
They're
good
not bad.
kebab there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they always put these beans with the eggs too. You eat breakfast, and it's always a buffet.
And a tomato in there, bro. What?
It's not a tomato. Those
It
aren't
is.
tomatoes. They're called tomatoes.
Yeah.
They taste disgusting. It's
Yeah,
not like a tomato in the
well,
States.
here's what the worst thing was, bro. What was that blood pudding, bro? Oh my god, that was that I couldn't handle the blood pudding, bro.
Just think about it. I had a food fight chase hornswoggle around skit on Raw or SmackDown with European food. We were in England,
Oh.
and it took us all day to say. I chased him. I kid you not. For 5 or 10 minutes, we went into catering and they have everybody set up, right? He's going under the tables. I'm, slipping all over with the food. They had the beans, they had the eggs, they had the tomatoes. So I have PTSD with me and Hornswoggle. For God's sake.
Oh my god, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Right. This is the Coach and Bro Show. But guess what? We're not done. If you want more of this incredible content, wrestling content too, go to the Backstage Pass. You can get it right here at sportskita.com. And over there, you're going to see us talk about, among other things, why just signing a TV deal isn't all that it's cracked up to be. Also, we have our picks according to my bookie for this week at Bad Blood. So check us out over at Backstage Pass.